Is candidate Doug Ingram.
You'll ask the question first at that mic and then.
We got to share.
So we're down to Bollmann.
Okay. Welcome, Mr. Enyart. The first question, this one will have a 2-minute answer again. Yesterday, a U.S. Senate committee approved a comprehensive immigration bill. It seems like an amnesty bill because illegal immigrants are allowed to legally stay in the United States. Having been here for 5 minutes or 50 years, under what circumstances should an illegal immigrant be allowed to stay in the United States? Again, you have 2 minutes.
Whether 5 minutes or 50 years, it really makes no difference. Amnesty does not belong to anyone who's crossed the border illegally. They made a decision when they crossed that border to break the law. Now, let's put the shoe on the other foot. What happens if we go across the border going the other way and break the law? What's going to happen to us? Are we going to get the same fair treatment over in Mexico as we give their folks when they come over here? I want to make something very clear, and that is that I love Mexico. I love Mexican food, and all the Mexicans that I've met are fine folks. I even stood up when I was in the Marine Corps in a Mexican wedding. That was quite an experience. That being said, the law is the law, and it must be respected. So there should be no amnesty. We need to secure our borders. Those who are here illegally can go back out the door and get behind those in line, the 4 million people who want to immigrate legally, who are trying to do it right. They need to go back out the door, get behind, and start to do it the right way.
Okay, question number 2. The audience was asked several questions before you all were brought back in, and they were asked if certain things were unconstitutional, and the consensus was that the Obamacare mandate especially was unconstitutional. And the question is, and this is, you'll have 1 minute to answer it. If a spending bill, continuing resolution, or budget bill comes before you that pays for the full year of veterans benefits but also funds spending for items you deem unconstitutional, such as Obamacare, will you vote against this bill, and why? Again, you have 1 minute.
If elected, I intend to vote no a lot when I go to Washington. If you stir in evil with good, it's still evil, and you can't support that. No matter how much I would love to support our veterans, and I am a veteran, and I support them, and I want to provide for our veterans, and that is under the enumerated powers of Congress, Section 1, or Article 1, Section 8. Providing for our military includes our veterans. But I will not vote to support the funding of Obamacare in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, this is question number 3 out of 4, and you have 1 minute to answer this. Candidates often campaign on the notion that the United States should cut off foreign aid to certain countries based on their behavior and their ally status. Considering that we are almost $17 trillion in debt, this really seems like a no-brainer. What countries do you believe should be cut off from foreign aid? And will you commit to voting no on a bill that sends American aid to these countries, even if the bill is the mechanism for funding veterans benefits? Again, you have 1 minute.
That veterans benefits is stirring all over. Did you have me on target? No, I can't vote for anything that's evil just to achieve veterans benefits. And no, I don't support spending money on other countries. I showed you the picture of one of the most important reasons I'm standing before you tonight in the form of my grandchildren. When the federal government is borrowing somewhere between 40 and 46 cents out of every dollar that it is spending. And my grandchildren are now being labeled the debt-paying generation. No, I'm not going to vote for more debt on their shoulders.
Okay, this is the fourth and final question, and it has a 2-minute time for your answer. This question is related to the current IRS scandal related to biased targeting of the Tea Party and other groups. Organizations like the Cape County Tea Party have been ordered by Barack Obama's IRS to submit the content of their prayers as part of the 501c3 approval process. The director of the IRS, Lois Lerner, testified on Capitol Hill today regarding this scandal. What is the first question you would have asked her, and what would be your solution to this problem? Again, you have 2 minutes.
What I would ask her is, would you leave the room? Now, this problem with the 501c3 organizations, whether it be a Tea Party or, like locally, the Marine Corps League, or maybe your local church, it all goes back to the same story. Back in 1954, there was a freshman senator from the state of Texas. He ran a campaign and he won, but after he was elected, he attached a rider to an appropriations bill that did not go through committee. It was not discussed or debated or voted on in committee, nor was it discussed, debated, or voted on the floor. It sailed right through. And that rider targeted a foundation that had attacked him during the campaign. He was vindictive. He was going after a particular organization. And by broad strokes, he included all 501c3s. So that's why every organization like yours is so limited. By you can't speak your First Amendment rights or exercise them because of this bill. Now, my idea is to give us all, every individual, every group of people, back their First Amendment rights by going back and repealing that rider. Every person, every group in this nation has a right to speak and speak their minds politically. That's what it's all about. Now, we had the Citizens United ruling by the Supreme Court. Says that corporations and companies and wealthy individuals can spend as much as they want to and say whatever they want to. Let's give the freedom of speech back to all citizens, all groups, including the Tea Party.